You're listening to the PRO Media Network, the next level in entertainment.
You're listening to the Pelicans post-game report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
For all things Pelicans, you're now tuned into the Pelican post-game report on the PRO Media Network. I'm Big Q chiming in with you. What up, fam? How y'all doing? Another week of Pelican post-game report action is coming right at you. My co-host tonight, and always, is DC. What's going on, DC? How you feeling, fam?
Feeling very hopeful, but at the same time, I'm also feeling very optimistic that we may be able to fire Alvin Gentry eventually. Oh, man.
He does enough to stay in it. That's
Good,
one thing
good
about
times,
Alvin Gentry.
good times, bro.
Alvin Gentry does enough that he'll lose. He lost 13 in a row, but they was hanging on. They'll just wait till Zion get back. Just wait till Zion get back. Big ups to Unique View in the building. Says Zion sandwiches and muscles.
What she say?
That's cold. That's so cold. Zion sandwiches and muscle.
Oh, man, that's crazy. I believe
cool.
it was cereal. They always clowning them about cereal. So.
Kevin, what up, Kev? That's right, Kev, back again, fam. Round 3, baby. First one was the sports coma. Second was the tough Tiger talk. Now we back at him for the third and final one, which is obviously the Pelican post-game report. DC in the building. And we're going to fire him, man. Now, fam, this is what we're going to do today on the Pelican post-game report. We're going to recap this past week's worth of NBA action, which, of course, is the Memphis Grizzlies contest with the Pelicans, the Spurs matchup, Denver's matchup, and then we're going to preview the Boston matchup that's set to come up. What is it, tomorrow? Yeah, well, what is that, tomorrow? Is that tomorrow, DC, for that Boston matchup?
Yeah.
Okay.
Boston matchup is definitely tomorrow, my bro.
Okay, there we go. I'll just make sure. But let's keep it moving, though, fam. We're going to start off with that one. Then we're going to hit you with the stats and breakdown, as well as our analysis and interviews from Coach Payton. We're going to play some Zion Williamson and a few as well. So without further ado, let's get right on up into it. We're going to start off with the first matchup, which was against the Memphis Grizzlies. And Grizzlies turned out to be a nice little exciting team with Ja Morant there, the point guard, as he liked to call himself. In this matchup, the Pelicans looked really good, and this was, of course, the MLK matchup that the NBA has going with has New Orleans and Memphis playing in it, and then they took part in the Memphis FedEx Forum. Now, the Pelicans came into this game, they shot just about 44% from the three-point line, which was on a franchise record 21 threes. Memphis was 9 of 33 from deep for just over 27%. Memphis outscored New Orleans in the paint 70-36, which was ridiculous. But holding a 36-33 lead with about 10 minutes remaining in the second, New Orleans had a run of 19-9 that took a 15-point lead into that time frame. Then, of course, Nico Melli. Now, remember this point because we're going to go back to it. Nico Melli scored 11 of his 15 points in that period while Holiday added 13. New Orleans led by double digits all the third quarter. They pushed that lead to as much as 25 points, which was the largest of the game. And then with 3:26 remaining in the frame, trailing by 18 with 5 left, Memphis cut the deficit to 5 points. That's right. And then with about a minute 28 remaining, they went on a 20-7 run, but New Orleans was able to seal the deal by way of Brandon Ingram's layup and then a J.J. Redick three-pointer. Now, on the end, Holiday was the top scorer. He finished with 36 points. Ingram had 6 assists, 9 rebounds from Zoe Ball. Grizzlies on the other side, top man was Brooks. He had 31 points. Ja Morant finished with 9 assists in the matchup as the Pelicans win 126-116 in the matchup. Now, DC, before you chime in, fam. Let's hear what old Gentry had to say about this win over about the Grizzlies. Let's hear what the old fella said before he got a shot of Jack Daniels.
Everybody ready? Coach, solid win against a hot basketball team. Just say for a couple of stretches, you were in control the entire way.
We were, but the thing about this team is that they never quit. I've watched games where they've been down big and came back and won the game, but I thought for the most part we did a really good job. I think we got off to a good start, especially in the second quarter. I thought our defense was really good. We did about as good a job as you can do on Ja in those situations. We tried to keep him out of the paint as much as we possibly could, but they're a good, very good young team. They got some really good pieces, but I thought we did a great job. I thought Drew coming back and playing the way he did obviously was great for us. I thought B.I. did a great job at the end of just kind of closing it. They made a great run back. I think they got it to 5, if I'm not mistaken. But we came up with some big baskets, and I think anytime you can win on the road against a quality team like that, it's great. Obviously we would have liked to have finished it a little bit differently, but a win is a win, and we'll take it.
Game really turned, Coach, when Valanciunas just would not go out and challenge Nico Melli, and he started making threes, and it really led to a matchup issue for Memphis the rest of the ballgame.
Well, it did, and I thought Melli did a great job. We have to get him convinced that he has to continue shooting if he misses a couple, but I thought tonight he did a really good job of just catching it, and when he was open, shooting the basketball, and actually that in the second quarter kind of what got us the separation.
That's thoughts from Coach Elvin Gentry on the matchup. DC, you heard what Coach Gentry said, got to convince Melli to shoot the three-pointer, just keep shooting it like he does so many other Pelicans players. Just jack the sum gun up until it fall in. What's your thought process on Gentry's thought before we move to the San Antonio matchup?
Well, if I was Nico Melli, I would say I have to convince my coach to give me some goddamn minutes. And then maybe I'll be able to shoot more, because when you put me in for 1 minute and then take me out, I think maybe I'm doing something wrong. Is that ever dawned on you, Mr. Gentry? So that's what I think about his comments. Oh, man, that guy is hilarious. More funny than ethical and efficient. Definitely.
I mean, it's something else, to be honest with you, because when I seen that lineup, when they finally were able to put Zion, get Zion Williamson and put him in the lineup matchup, that front five I was looking at it, I was like, man, this is a serious front five. If he can fill in the bench rotation like we've been speaking of so elegantly lately, this team could be very formidable. Let's move on to the next matchup here against the San Antonio Spurs. Is when Zion Williamson made his appearance. This was a real exciting game. A lot of people tuned in to watch this matchup, and it was something special. Ultimately, everything happened but the Pelicans getting the win. Now, they started the game missing the first 10 3-pointers, with the first triple coming at about the 8 minutes into the second quarter. They finished 14 of 36, which is about 39% from deep on the night. The Spurs started the second quarter on a 12-4 run. They took the largest lead of the half, 43-28. New Orleans in the San Antonio traded baskets in the third, with the Spurs leading by no less than 9 points and no more than 14. Ingram scored 11 of his 22 points in that time frame. New Orleans shot just shy of 59% from the field. LaMarcus Aldridge had 10. DeMar DeRozan had 8 combined for 18 of the Spurs, 34 points in that time frame. San Antonio then shot 52% from the floor, trailing 95-85 with just over 10 remaining in the game. New Orleans went on a 22-12 run. They taken the first lead of the game at the 6:43 mark of the first quarter. During this stretch, Pelicans rookie Zion, he erupted for 17 straight points in the matchup. He was 6 of 8 from the field. He was 4 of 4 from downtown with about 6:37 in action of that time frame. Spurs answered by way of an 11-2 run to push the lead to 8, 117-109. With just 3.5 minutes left to play, New Orleans cut the deficit to 2 points with a minute remaining, but 2 LaMarcus Aldridge free throws late sealed the win for the Spurs as they got the win 121-117 in Zion's debut. Ingram and Williamson both finished with 22 points. Favors had 10 rebounds. Zoe Ball had 12 assists in the matchup. wasn't enough. LaMarcus Aldridge went off. He just defaced. He just annihilated or showed up, schooled,
Man,
whatever you want
that's
to say
bad.
against our big favors. 32 and 14 on the night for him. 7 assists from White. DC, before I play old man Gentry, what's your thoughts on the Pelicans losing that game to the Spurs with debuting Williamson?
Well, the good news is the Pelicans, they played horribly outside of Zion Williams. They looked just disjointed the whole night. And I mean, we only lost by 5 points. So it just shows you how much potential this team has. They're not living up to it. And I don't know what that was with Derek Favors, man. Other than the Zion explosion, that was very alarming to me for LaMarcus Aldridge to be scoring like that. I would expect him to score like that when Gentry throws our little 4 guards out there and we run Zion at the center or whatever. But on Fave, man, I was like, wow. And I don't know. Maybe Aldridge done leveled up. Or maybe something going on with Derek Favors, man. So other than that, I think they still could have won this game. If Zion would have played, they would have won this game, man. I mean, he's absolutely amazing, bro. Future great in the making. He's everything is advertised, so I wasn't disappointed with what I saw. And it just took a long time for it to come alive late in the fourth quarter, man. And anybody who was hating on this game far as him, man, they smoking crack.
Well, let's hear what Elvin. Speaking of which, let's hear what Elvin Gentry has to say about the Pelicans and Spurs in the post game. Here's Coach Gentry.
Nothing ever changes. You know, they won't beat themselves. They hadn't done it in 20 years, so you have to execute, and you got to actually beat them. You know, because they're not going to beat themselves. And you know, I thought we had a good run in there at the, you know, that. When we made up the 14 points, but, you know, you just got to keep playing against this team. You know, they just do such a great job. Thought LaMarcus played well, and thought DeJounte Murray played well, and, you know, they just keep coming at you. And you know, they're as good as anybody in the league is executing what they're trying to do, getting the ball to the right people in the right situation. So, I was happy. We just had a struggle. You know, they took us out of the rhythm that we've had, you know, over the last, you know, 2 or 3 weeks. They took that away from us. They did a lot of switching, which bothered us some, and we just didn't shoot the ball well. You know, partially them, partially we just didn't shoot it well.
What did you think about the burst from Zion there in the fourth quarter, especially considering the way it started?
Like I said, it was going to be a learning experience either way. If he played well, if he didn't play well, I think the big thing is that he was much more aggressive during that situation. And we had talked at halftime about, you know, I thought he was just deferring way too much, and I wanted him to be aggressive, and I knew that he would make some mistakes, but you know, I think what you saw there is a taste of what, you know, once we really get settled in and he gets settled in, I think you can see that there's a lot of things that we can do with him, and there's a lot of potential there. So it was good to see him do that. But, you know, I just think there's a really, really high ceiling, you know, that he can reach, you know, that he can reach it. So, we'll just continue on, you know, and we'll continue to practice. And anybody have any questions, I'll answer.
That's Elvin Gentry, man, with his thoughts on the team after the loss. And it just don't seem like you have very many answers to me, man. Kind of regurgitating past answers. I listen to Elvin Gentry a lot over these many years coming here. And the thing that's distasteful is the fact that as a veteran coach, he should understand the importance of having a rotation off the bench. We keep going back to this. The 4-guard look is ridiculous. Let's stop it. Please stop doing the goddamn 4 guards, please. I mean, stop matching up 4 guards against a tall team like they did against the Lakers. Let's just stop doing that because it's asinine. We give you the 3 guards. That's at force. He wanted 3 guards out there. And even if they're undersized guards, like the year when he played Etwine Moore at small forward the entire damn year, and Etwine Moore was the smallest small forward in the history of basketball. He played the entire year. He was guarding LeBron James. He was guarding Kawhi Leonard at the small forward position. Could you believe it? This nincompoop had this man playing this. I mean, we even gave you that. Now it's 4 guards at the detriment of the defense. So it's just like, it's ridiculous. A center and 4 guards. I mean, Elvin Gentry, you are a lunatic. I mean, the bottom line is you can't be taken serious about these rotations, man. I mean, seriously.
Wait a minute.
Why is not Nico Melli? Let's look at let DC seriously. Let's look at the matchup against the Spurs, in which you look at the lineup, and me and you talked about this.
Right.
Me and you talked about I'm gonna pull up the box score and look at it, because this is where it's at. Ingram in this matchup, he played 34 minutes. He had 22 points. Zion, of course, he had 22 as well. Derek Favors struggled in this game. He had 11, 14 from Zobal. Drew Holiday was 4 of 11 from the field, 1 of 5 from downtown. He was not it. Off the bench, Nico Melli got a minute. And Nico Melli's a stretch forward that can provide some scoring for you. J.J. Redick only had 10. Hart had 10, 20 points off the bench. Sometimes you need the bench to reinforce what you're doing. And Elvin Gentry just don't get it. Can we stick with a consistent bench rotation? Guys that get used to playing with each other off the bench like the starting rotation. Can we just learn to do that? But anyway, we're about to go into break. We'll come back. Hold on, DC. We're about to go to break, DC. When we come back, we'll let Gentry talk and speak all the bull crap that he can speak. We'll come back and meet it all. We'll finish this preview. We have the matchup as well, and we'll preview the Boston matchup on the other side of the break. You listen to the Pelican post game report. Stick with us.
Get straight sports talk from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
Embrace Pet Insurance is more than just pet insurance. Embrace Pet Insurance promises to provide genuine support and certainty when your pet needs it the most. With personalized accident and illness policies, compassionate customer care, 24/7 access to veterinary professionals, flexible wellness plans, timely claims processing, and online customer portals, their values is what makes them Embrace. So, when selecting a pet insurance company as a partner in your pet's care, you deserve a company that has your pet's best interests at heart. Get top-rated and reviewed coverage for your pet today. Up to 90% back on bills at any vet, total protection, pet insurance and wellness, and dependable claims payments. Get the top-rated and reviewed coverage for your pet today. Go to embracepetiinsurance.com. That's embracepetiinsurance.com. Check the link in the description section below.
Get all the latest news and updates from your New Orleans Pelicans at the Pelicans GEAUX, the new and official Pelicans Daily Journal, covering everything Pelicans. Attention, everyone. Get breakdown on games, free agent signings, and potential moves. Unbiased opinions and straight up facts with statistical analysis from GEAUX. Go to www.thesportsdaily.com/Pelicans-I-View.
Are you a boxing fan? Check out Ring Kings Boxing only on the PRO Media Network.
Do you need a domain name? How about a host for your website that can work with WordPress? Try Namecheap.com. They make registering, hosting, and managing domain names for yourself or others easy and affordable because the internet needs people. Namecheap is an ICANN accredited domain register and technology company founded in 2000. It's one of the fastest growing American companies according to the 2018 Inc. 5000, celebrating nearly 2 decades of providing unparalleled levels of service, security, and support. Namecheap has been steadfast in customer satisfaction with over 10 million domains under management. Namecheap is among the top domain registrars and web providers in the world. They offer a full selection of popular and unique domains along with fully featured hosting packages, SSL security certificates, WhoisGuard privacy protections, and more, all at the lowest prices in the industry. So if you need a domain name or hosting or anything else, think Namecheap.com. That's right, Namecheap.com. Check the description section below for link.
Sports fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear. From all the leagues, teams, and players you love. Unique one-of-a-kind designs exclusively by Fanatics. And autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars shipped directly to your home. Join Fanatics Rewards for free to earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and for a limited time, get 20% off all orders. Fanatics.com. Officially licensed everything.
There's a lot of reasons to be a fan, but only NBAStore.com has all the gear.
Are you a Pelicans fan? Check out the Pelican postgame report on the PRO Media Network.
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
For all things Pelicans, you're tuned into the Pelican postgame report on the PRO Media Network. Like I said, we breaking it down, man. We actually recap the Memphis dealing with the Spurs. We got the Nuggets on this side to break, as well as the Boston Celtics preview coming up. So, man, it's interesting, man, to say the least. As we were asking questions, that's very valid to what direction is this team undertaking. Now, of course, since Zion Williamson come back, and in lightweight, a lot of the fan base has kind of made him the savior, thinking that if we could just hang on to Zion Williamson makes it here, then he will save us. And obviously that's not the point, because Zion Williamson, in the 2 times that he's been with the team, there have been losses. And might I add, me and DC was speaking about this off air, is the fact that some of the players that were consistently carrying the team during some of the more successful games during the season, without Zion Williamson, all of a sudden are doing poorly. Hence the title, the Pels are folding under the pressure of Mount Zion. That was DC's tag. DJ, big ups to you, DJ. As DJ's in the chat as well. Hey, now listen, DC, coming back to you before the break. Elaborate, fam. Break it down.
Well, I'd like to elaborate, but this guy keep bugging me, man. Alvin Gentry just want to tell you something, bro.
Oh man, I don't have no Jack Daniels, Elvin.
Big Q.
Yes, sir.
I don't appreciate that. I'm not the smartest coach in the world.
You got that right.
But when you run 4 guards, they're faster than everybody. We want to go faster, faster, faster. All right?
All right.
We got to
turning the ball over faster, faster, faster. Does that make sense, Coach?
That's okay. That's okay. If you shoot more shots, you get more possessions. So you have more chance at a basket.
That makes no sense. That's why your ass got handled by Greg Popovich.
Give me the phone, Alvin, man. He can't. I try to let him defend himself, bro.
Give him some taco and let him go sit down somewhere and marinate on that, man.
But nah, bro. Just like you said, we was talking about with Nico Melli, man. I don't know what this dude. I just don't understand why we don't see him. I think Nico Melli, if you pair him up with a big, like we've done this in a couple of games. We talked about it on the past show. Every time they started Nico Melli in lineup, or we ran 2 bigs and like actual power forwards in the center, we won.
Success.
We won.
Right.
So if you got Zion out there with Favors, like you said, that's a scary matchup. Okay, if you throw Zion back out there, I don't want to see Zion at the small ball center. There's a place for that, but I just feel like right now, while we're building habits, we're trying to get in the identity of what we are, we need to do fundamental shit. Put Zion out there and you could put a non-traditional center out there with him, like Nico Melli. You could play Nico Melli and Zion together. That would be smart. But we've never seen that matchup. Hell, I don't even remember seeing Zion and Jackson Hayes out there together. Anybody, if I'm wrong about that, enlighten me. Like, why wouldn't those 2 guys play together? 2 of the fastest front court players in the league. I won't play them together at any point. Stupid. Like, it's simple, man. I mean, you give Greg Popovich this team, bro, and you probably could cut our losses in half. Man, I guarantee it.
Man, you give Greg Popovich this team, he gonna take them all the way to the semifinals, the finals round, man. Greg Popovich could do some real damage with a team like this because Pop is a real coach. Elvin Gentry is an assistant. That's the bottom line, and that's the difference. And what we're talking about when you talk about coaches versus assistants. Elvin Gentry is always, will be, and is an assistant. You know, he won a title as an assistant coach. And there's a reason being he's an assistant because it's, I mean, I'm going to just be honest. Yeah, we're going to take calls, Kevin, right after we do some, if we finish breaking down the Denver matchup, we're going to preview Boston. Then that we're going to allow the call in after the fact, fam. So just be patient with us. We're going to make it through it. And we'll take calls on the back end if that's fine with DC, putting the pressure on him.
Yeah, I'm good, man. I ain't got nowhere to go.
What else you supposed to say? You know, I just put you in the crossfire.
Oh, I'll tell you, if I had somewhere where like, look, man, we ain't taking no calls today. You got to wrap this up, Big Q.
I hear you, bro. I hear you. You better not turn on the Pelican post game report, family. Anyway, let's keep it going.
Not most of the time, but sometimes when you gotta go, you gotta go.
You gotta go. Elvin Gentry calling you to go do some drinking. Denver. let's go to the Denver matchup, man. Denver. Of course, this was a really interesting matchup. Remember the last time the Pelicans played the Denver Nuggets? It was a really good win for the Pelicans. And Denver, well, you could tell they were sore about that one. They really was, especially Jokic was really pissed about it, and it showed in this matchup. Now, Denver out-rebounded the Pelicans 56-45 in the matchup, including 24 versus 12 on the offensive end, setting the Pelican opponent franchise record in the process, with the previous being 23 twice. Three Nuggets players recorded point, rebound, double-doubles along with Nikola Jokic, which was Torrey Craig. He had 15 points, 10 rebounds. Michael Porter Jr. had 15 points, 10 rebounds. The Nuggets outscored the Pelicans on second chance points, 35-13. And that was the killer. The offensive rebounding wasn't there. And that is and this was mad, and I was able to look at this game and see it's just you have to want that rebound offensive edge and put yourself in the position to win these games. New Orleans was 18 of 30 at the free throw line. Let me tell you that again, because that was a stat that really stuck out to me, for 60%. And then you turn around and look at why the Pelicans lost this game. You look at the way they lost the Spurs game, missing free throws. They only lost to the Spurs by 4 points in the matchup. The Pelicans were well within that to hit the free throws, and they would have won both these games, or at least made them close. They were 18 of 30. The referees was allowing the Pelicans to get to the free throw line. They were almost 50% from the free throw line, while Denver was a perfect 20 from 20. Now, in the second career game, Zion finished with 15 points on 7-9 shooting from the floor with 6 rebounds. He had 1 steal in the block, a really nice one too. Now, holding 27-24 lead, Denver went on a 16-7 run to take a 43-31 lead with just under 10 minutes left in the first half. The Pelicans cut the deficit to 2, 48-46, about 6 left. Nuggets responded by going back on another run, 13-4, to push it back up to double digits before the half. Now, coming out of the half, trailing 68-58 at the 10:45 mark in the third, New Orleans then went on a 12-2 run to tie the game at 70 with just under 7 minutes left. Then the Nuggets answered with a game. This was a game of runs. Unfortunately, the Pelicans was on the wrong side of it, because the Nuggets went on a 24-12 run to take a 94-82 lead into the fourth quarter. Then trailing 105-92 with little less than 6 minutes remaining in the regulation. New Orleans went 16-4 run to cut the lead to 3 with less than 2 minutes remaining, but that would be as close as the Pelicans would get, as Will Barton hit a layup to make it a 2-possession game with 48 seconds left. Drew Holiday had a layup that fell short. Torrey Craig converted on another layup, and at the end, it was at the other end for the Nuggets. So they finished with a 113-106 win. Redick had 18 points. Josh Hart finished with 13 rebounds. That's right, 13 rebounds for Hart, and he's a guard for heaven's sake. But Gentry loves the full guard look. Holiday finished with 9 assists on the night. Jokic was the king all the way around. He led his team with points with 27, with rebounds with 12, and he even had 7 assists. He basically orchestrated this win, and he was serious about it. and it was just one of those wins. But you got to shake your goddamn head. Here's Elvin Gentry to shake it for you.
Most of the plays they had, and we gave up second shot, sometime third shot. 14 rebounds the first half, offensive rebounds, and, really, 11 the second half. That's just too much to overcome. When you think about the fact that, they had 106 shots at the basket and got over 40% of them back, that's another thing that's tough to overcome. So, and the one thing that it does for us, or it does to us really, is that it never allows us an opportunity to get out in the open court, play in transition, because most of the time we're taking the ball out of the basket on the second or third shot. So that's really what the game was. We had our moments, and it seemed like every time we made a run back at them, and we got it to 3, and they got an offensive rebound. So we don't have to look any farther than that really to see the difference in the game really.
How difficult is it, having to reintegrate, a really good piece, but at that point in the season, you're halfway through.
No, I don't really buy that, as an excuse for what happened tonight, because he's out there, he's been positive in everything when he's on the floor. He's played great for us. At the end of the day, when he's on the floor, we were plus 16 tonight. So it doesn't have anything to do with integrating him back in. It has everything to do with us keeping him off the offensive boards. That's where the game was. So, we can talk about, adding Zion to the mix. There's not anybody in the world that wouldn't like to add him to the mix. And like I said, the 20 minutes that he played, we were plus 16. So his integration is fine. We have to find a way to keep him off the offensive boards. We have to find a way to get ourselves in transition. And the only way we can do that is not taking the ball out of the basket, but doing it on rebounds.
Also, a good way to do it, Coach, is by teaching your team, to hit the goddamn free throws. Remember, all this would be null and void had the Pelicans hit. Remember, they was 60%. They almost hit less than 50% of their free throws. They went to the line 30 times, and that was an absolutely insane amount of free throws to miss. In that set, they were 18 of 30 from the free throw line, 18 of 30 for 60%. Denver was 20 of 20. And you can stand up here and talk about offensive rebounding. Had this team hit the free throws like they were supposed to at a high clip, they would have won this game easily. They would have won it easy by at least 4 or 5 points. And it goes to show you that the fundamentals, and when we talk about the Pelicans and why they lose in a lot of these contests, it's obviously because of the fundamentals. Go back to the last several contests. The Pelicans are shooting poorly from the free throw line. Walk-up layups have been a concern. Wide-open three-point shots have been a concern. And then when you talk about offensive rebounds, that's an effort thing where you battling for boards a guy jacks up a three-point shot like the Pelicans love to do. Remember, Elvin Gentry loves 40 a game, whether they're bad or good, meaning a bad one means you're shooting the ball before your team even sets up for a play or get in position for a rebound. And then most of the times you have 4-guard looks, which some of those guys are not really good rebounders. You have Hart, and Hart's turned out to be a pretty good rebounder. Drew Holiday is okay, but that's not their forte. You understand what I'm saying? You don't have the bigs down there snatching rebounds or really helping defend the paint. So, it's a cluster, and a comedy of errors dealing with Elvin Gentry because he doesn't know how to circulate the correct personnel off the bench to empower the starting 5. Like I said, look at the starting 5, man. The starting 5 for the Pelicans with Zion Williamson in there is absolutely phenomenal. You have Zobal at 1, Drew Holiday at 2. You have Ingram slides to his natural 3 position with Zion at 4 and Derek Favors at 5. That is a crucial 5-star lineup and scares the hell out of anybody. You talking about athleticism, size, physicality, defense with Favors and Zobal and Drew Holiday. Defense, then you have Ingram, who's pretty good defensively. Zion's pretty good. Athleticism. It's just a terrific mix. And I'm saying that because if you go back over the past some years, you'll realize that the Pelicans didn't have a pretty good point guard. And they didn't have a really good point guard since Chris Paul left. And they were struggling to solve the small forward position for years. But this year, they have a solid point guard in Lonzo who's knocking the three down, really confident. And you got to look at that shot. He's getting help from J.J. Redick on that shot. Look at that shot. You can see that he's confidently shooting that three, and it's falling for him. That's J.J. Redick helping him with shooting that three. You look at Drew Holiday, how he's playing defensively, and you allow him to just be, don't let him handle the ball that much, but just let him be what he is, a number two. He excels in that position. Ingram is the all-star, 25.5 a game, big game. Zion is the star, the superstar who comes in. He's going to be fine. And, of course, Derek Favors is the dirty work player. When you go off to the second team, who do you have that's consistent like that lineup to reinforce them? Off the bench, you have size, you have athleticism, you have shooting, you have Nico Melli, who's the stretch forward that you have. And that is the guy that that's the most unique player off the bench that you have because he's 6'9", he shoots the three really well, and he hustles. And he can move pretty decently on the floor as well. So when you have a player like that stretch forward needs to see action. Etwan Moore plays well. He needs action. So does J.J. Redick. And even Frank Jackson is really showing himself. Then you have Jackson Hayes there. So we just gave you don't forget Hart. So you have to figure out which players you really need to mix in there to help this team moving forward. But like I said, it should be a consistent five, and you might have one or two of them that float in one of two of the positions that I mentioned. But at the end of the day, that's not happening. There's no consistency off the bench. And then the fundamental aspects of not respecting the ball, not hitting these free throws like they're supposed to, and not playing good defense. My goodness, I can go on, but that'll be about it. You put the cap on this game for us, DC. What's your thoughts on their loss to the Nuggets, man?
Man, you put the cap on it, you done closed the joke. You done put it all in there, man. But I think your point on the free throws, yeah, but when I look at them, bro, I mean, the people who miss free throws are people who aren't good free throw shooters, so I wouldn't beat them up too bad about that. I mean, Jackson Hayes missed three.
You won't beat them up on there. They was 18 of 30 for 60%.
Jackson Hayes missed three. Zion missed three. Derek Favors missed three. That's 9 right there, man. I mean, it's people that aren't, highly proficient at shooting the free throws. So, yeah, he's supposed to make them. J.J. Redick shouldn't have missed one. He's supposed to be perfect. Drew Holiday missed one. He shouldn't have missed one. Brandon Ingram missed one. He shouldn't have missed one. But I really feel like they lost this game for the same reason they lost the other game. And to me, it's really boiling down to the Zion effect, man, which is why I gave you the title, since you won't put me out there. I guess people don't like it. I made it, yeah. So what? But
he's part Rastafarian, so that's Mount
I
Zion.
ain't no part Rastafarian, man. Get out of here. But they seem to be tight and tense. Brandon Ingram only took 11 shots. I mean, that's got to be the first time all year. He's had a lot of times when he wasn't shooting well, but he was still getting about 18, 19 shots. Get them points, man. We need you. Drew Holiday, he kind of was chucking them up even though they wasn't falling, the opposite of Ingram. But he had a lot of effort. He was out there on the defensive end trying real hard. And they all looked like they were trying hard, except when you talk about the rebounds, man. So I got to agree with Alvin Gentry, because watching that game, Q, the rebounds is what was killing us, man. It was the second chance points, bro. I mean, they would have a good play defensively, stop them, force them to a miss, and then them guys just rebound the ball, man. And it's almost deflating to the defense, and then they wind up scoring. They had a lot of points like that. And I really think this is the reason that they lost this game. And, I mean, we've had problems rebounding all year, but it just feels like it's a bit too much for them right now. This game and the Spurs game, all the cameras are on them. Everybody's watching the Pelicans right now. So I think some of these guys aren't ready. Like Lonzo Ball, I think plays when the lights are on, but even him, he didn't play very well tonight. he played bad. This is one of his worst games to me. I know he made 3 3-pointers, but just watching him out there, at times he didn't have a whole bunch of turnovers, but Alvin Gentry even pulled him out of the game at times, man, after I seen him make mistakes. And he was almost invisible out there. Didn't make a lot of plays. And you go down the list with a lot of these guys saying that they just disjointed and they're not in sync. I know they got a new guy they're adding to the team in Zion. They need to find their rhythm, and they need to do it quickly, man, because we can't keep giving wins away, y'all, and fought all the way back to get 3 or 4 games within that 8th spot. I don't know where they are as of today, but they got to turn this around quick if they truly hope to have a chance at making the playoffs. But the rotations, again, are horrible, as we went over. Looking at this, he's got to get rid of that 4-guard set. It's really not working. 3 guards, that's okay. But Etuan Moore and J.J. Redick, to me, are the 2 guys that need to get their minutes cut. Kind of have to take a backseat to the Zion Williamson effect. And we need to keep 2 bigs out there at all times, especially when we're playing a team like this that rebounds well, man. I mean, there's no excuse for Josh Hart having 15 rebounds this year. That's good that he had that hustle to go get them, or 13. But, man, I mean, Derek Favors only has 8. That's kind of embarrassing, bro. You know, so I would say they lost this game because of the rebounding, man, and them crumbling under that pressure of Mount Zion, man. It's just too much right now. They're not ready.
The Pelicans standing at 17-29 right now. They're 8-15 at home, and the season, there's still a lot of games left in the season. They could go on a run.
How many games back are we right now?
I think you're 12th right now. So, I mean, it comes in the playoff race, 17-29, 12 back in from the top lead in Houston in the Southwest, and sitting at 12th, I think, in the playoff race, but in losing of 2. So you can't continue to keep doing this. But they're up. The next matchup is coming up tomorrow against the Boston Celtics. This team is a 30-win team currently. 30-14. They're 12-9 away. This will be in the Smoothie King Center. This is the second matchup of 2 for the season. Of course, the first time the Celtics met Pelicans, they destroyed them by 35 points, 140-105. That got to still sit in your craw if you're a prideful player. And, of course, Kent, in this matchup, a lot of people are clearly picking the Boston Celtics to take care of business against the struggling Pelican club. You have Walker there. Kemba Walker is the top scorer there, 22 points a game, shooting just under 45% from the field. He's also the top assist man for the Celtics with about 5 a game. And their top reboundist is Enes Kanter with 8 a game. For the Pelicans, Brandon Ingram is the top scorer with 25.2. Ingram is also the key rebounder with 6.5, and Zoe Ball is the top assist man with 6.4 for the Pelicans coming into this matchup. Now, the injury report is showing that Robert Williams III is listed out, but day-to-day are Enes Kanter, Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart, and Jaylen Brown. We expect those guys to play. And remember, Jason Tatum was the one that tore you a new one in the last matchup, and Jaylen Brown was spectacular too. You know, he dunked on LeBron last week as well. And these are fantastic players. And even Gordon Hayward's getting into the act with Boston as they're a half a game back in the Atlantic standings chasing Toronto. A lot of people didn't think Toronto would be worth anything, but Toronto's still holding its own. They're 31-14 at the top of Atlantic. And, of course, you look at the Southwest standing. Houston is the big dog. They're followed by Dallas, who trailed them a half a game back. Then Memphis is in the central part of it, 21-24. Then San Antonio, who just beat us, they're at the 4th position, and the Pelicans are in the cellar with 17-29. Looking at some of the numbers team-wise, the Boston Celtics average 112.4 points a game while only allowing the opposition to score a 105.3, which explains to you why they're a 30-win team. Shooting 46% from the field, 45.6 on the rebounds per game, 23.6 on the assists, 6 blocks a contest, 8 steals a contest, and they're currently on a 3-game winning streak, and they are 5-5 the last 10 contests. The Pelicans, 114.3 is what they score while giving up 117.6. Recipe for disaster is if you are allowing more than you're scoring, you're going to be in the red all the time. 45 and a half on the field goal percentage, 45 and a half rebounds per game, 25 and a half assists per game, 5 blocks per contest, 7.3 on the steals, losers of 2 in a row, 5 and 5 in the last 10 games, 500 ball. Won't cut it. When your team is 17 and 29, you got to, in losing games at the free throw line is not a good look. You have, and 2 words fixes that problem. Free throw, actually, I guess you could say 3 words. Free throw drills. Free throw drills fixes issues at the free throw line. Fundamental. So with that said, DC, as we get to the end of that, and before we open up the lines here for questions or whatnot, what's your thought process on who gets the win against with the Pelicans and the Celtics, man? How does it go down?
I think the Pelicans go ahead and take this one. I think they've had enough. I think Zion is very frustrated with losing. And I also think they might add another minute or two to his rotation, so he might get up to maybe 22 minutes, 23, 24 range. And that might be enough to bring it home, man. Jason Tatum, he's got a little growing thing going on, but that's the guy who just forced us last time, dropping 41 points on us. Feel a little confident in them defending Kemba Walker and Gordon Hayward. I mean, nobody can really stop Kemba Walker, but with us having Drew Holiday back and Lonzo Ball, I think we can do a pretty proficient job on him. But the thing with us, we get torched a lot of times with these small forwards, man. It's been kind of theme all game. So Jaylen Brown and Tatum, man, that's gonna be a tough one. So Zion, though, with him out there defensively, we look great. With Zion and Derek Favors playing together, as of the Denver game, they look real well together that game. So I think they go and build on it and improve again, and we take another leap forward defensively. Brandon Ingram, I don't see him putting up another 13-point game, so he's going to give us more on the offensive end. And Drew Holiday also has to come out of the phone. The one X factor to me would be Lonzo Ball. If Lonzo Ball can play aggressive and assertive like he does when we're in all, which could be, we definitely take this game. But if we see another Lonzo Ball like we saw against the Denver Nuggets, I don't know, man. They may scrap this one up too. And along with those free throw drills, we need to get the ball shoot out there and get them to do the rebounding drills too. Because, man, we can't keep getting out rebounded. But Boston is not a great rebounder team. They're a little on the small side, so that's good. They playing to our favor. But I mean, last time these people torched us for almost 40 points. I think the Pelicans remember that, and just like Denver got tired of being beat by us, I think they go and get the win at home, and finally make everybody proud with the whole Zion show going on, and give us something to look forward to.
That's the whole thing, and if that's a tough matchup for the Pelicans to win, because the Boston Celtics matchup the matchup is very peculiar. I mean, in terms of very interesting matchup, because they have big guards. They have guards like Jaylen Brown, and then you have Jason Tatum and Gordon Hayward. That all you can see them on the floor at the same time, and you have one big, and then their big cycle off the bench. Really interesting how he runs the team, but it's very effective because these guys can do different things, and they're very talented, and they have all around game. But let's open up the phone lines, family.
They got most of their losses away too, Big Q.
Yeah, that's true. I've seen that.
All the wins they got at home. A lot of them.
That's right. I know
they
that.
Lost that many times at home. So
yeah, I know
that's another plus in our favor too.
Yeah, they're 12-9 on the road, so that does help the Pelicans. But this can be a big momentum shift and a big boost in confidence for this team to finally get a win with Zion Williamson on the floor and find a way to kind of work this stuff out. Because starting off with Zion 0-2 and possibly 0-3 could put more and more pressure upon the team moving ahead. So we'll see how it plays, man. Hopefully the Pelicans can pull it off. I would love to see them get a big confidence win by beating the Boston Celtics, a 30-win team. I really look how competitive they were against the Clippers. And that's something that you can kind of hang your hat on, but they got to figure a way to kind of get this home. So live lines open for the family members to call in. We're gonna take a few calls here, family. 504-475-4482, 504-475-4482. Questions for me or DC on the Pelicans. What are your thoughts? What did it take for the Pelicans and for Zion Williamson to acclimate properly? Even though, remember, a lot of this is going on with Zion Williamson's minute restrictions are controlled by the medical staff, and they override Elvin Gentry's decision. Now, remember, there have been times when you had players that came and had minute restrictions in the past. Remember this, DC, and Elvin Gentry played him more than what the minute restriction was. Remember that? So I mean,
Yeah.
he does it, but this time around they're not taking any chances. They've took that out of his hands, and he has to obey what the medical staff say. That's a very unique thing to have happen.
They probably told him they gonna fire him if he don't listen this time.
I'm trying to tell you, they probably
that seemed to get his attention.
Man, listen, if he screws up this with him, you could basically say that, DC, to be kind of honest. Okay, hold on, fam. Let me see if I can open this up in this line here. All right, hold on here. Something wrong with that. Try calling in again there, fam. Whoever called in. Try calling in again. For whatever reason, it wouldn't open. I had to open up another window for you. But try call. There we go. All right. All right. Thank you, fam, for calling. Pelican Postgame Report. Who's speaking?
Yeah, this is the real Elvin Gentry.
I think DC sound more like Elvin Gentry than you, DJ.
Oh, all right. Facts. What's going on, people? How y'all doing?
I'm good, bro. How you doing?
I'm hanging in there. Hey, Big Q. I wanted to tell you, I was in the same thing video. I was on my phone, so that's why I didn't comment. But this is the Pelican post game report. So I'm all basketball.
Okay.
What's going on, DC? How you doing up there?
What's going on, my brother? All right.
I'm hanging in there. Okay. Look, I'm just gonna tell y'all my recap of these Memphis and Spurs and Denver game. The Memphis game. We set a record franchise in threes, and which was fine. Like everybody was hitting. Then it goes down to the Spurs game, and we couldn't buy a shot in that first half. Like jacking up threes. Now don't get me wrong, it wasn't all the Pelican players' fault. I mean, you had bad calls and all that plays in the part too. But as for the Spurs game and that fourth quarter, I know everybody was like, "Why did the coach take Zion Wilson off?" It wasn't me. It was the medical staff. Let's put that out there. And I actually went to that game too. The Denver game, I don't know what the hell we were doing. But like I said, missed free throws. We didn't double up on the bigs. It was a lot going on. Now the Celtics game, I got the Pelicans taking it too. Now that we got Zion, kind of healthy right now. So I just gotta see how we gonna do this lineup, because Jaleel Okafor, he gotta play. Nico Miller, he gotta play. Like everybody gotta be on their A game when, if Zion get back. So I'm gonna listen to y'all and it's cute. I got another question for you. Well, I got two.
Okay.
Question one. We gotta create a song like you do the same thing, bro.
Working on it, bro.
Yeah, and if the draft was to come by now, and DC, you can say you're a little 2 cents in now. who do you draft and what position?
All right. Go ahead, DC.
It's a good question, man. I mean, the two names you got floating out there, you got Wiseman and Alonzo Ball. I don't know if we get a pick that high.
LaMelo.
And if we just, LaMelo Ball. I'm sorry. If to be honest, I think we almost got too many players. We got too much talent right now. We don't really need anything. So I see them probably taking a shot at a LaMelo or the Wiseman kid if they can. Either one of them fall a couple of picks and they can work a package and work some picks out to move up. I'm not too familiar with the draft class as far as all the other players. I keep hearing people say this draft is going to be weak. And then those two names are floating out there, and they got another little guy over in Australia with LaMelo. I can't remember his name. He's supposed to be pretty good, too. But I see the Pelicans possibly trying to move up and get one of the top-tier players while maybe getting rid of somebody from this year. This roster we got, depending on how it goes, I don't see them sticking with all these people we got on it. But then there's also Etuan Moore, whose contract is up. And we got Didi Lasova, who's overseas playing real good, the guy from Brazil. So we got to make room for him to come on the team. 3-and-D guy, he's playing excellent right now. So that's a good question, man. I got to look more into it. I'm not sure what the Pelicans do right now drafting. It's obvious that we need nothing. In my opinion, we don't really have a lot of holes. I think we're losing because of how we're playing, the style, and the people we give minutes to. Like, you could say we could get a big, but we got 2-3 bigs on the team. We don't even play them. So why would we draft another one?
Well, the thing is, we got too many guards though too. You got Josh Gray, you got Drew Holiday, you got Lonzo, Etuan, Josh Hart, JJ, Nikhil Alexander Walker. I mean, you got too many guards. So,
well, it's obvious we want to run 3-guard sets, so that's why we got so many guards. So if that's what we're gonna do, then currently right now we have enough bigs, and maybe that's what they go with, because Jahlil Okafor, I think his contract is up, so he might not be coming back. And maybe that's another spot between him and Etuan Moore. So I see them, if they don't re-sign Etuan Moore, possibly taking another combo guard, a guard that can play maybe shooting guard and small forward, or is that Didi? And then you sign maybe another big guy, another stretch forward / small forward. I don't see him going with a center. You want Zion to run small ball center, and we got Jackson Hayes and Derek Favors who's locked up next year. So, I would think they would have to go in one of those directions. What you think, Big Q?
I think, Jahlil Okafor, going into the draft, first of all, let me say before I approach the draft question, I think I've seen several interviews from different experts, as the so-called experts, are saying that this is a transition year, that they didn't expect the Pelicans to do anything first and foremost. I don't think that's the truth. I think that the Pelicans would, when Griff came aboard, and remember, Griff is the president, the general manager is actually in Langdon, and we don't talk about that guy at all. Most invisible GM in the game.
I don't think he wants to be talked about. I don't think that's an accident.
Yeah, Griff takes it all, but this is the thing, though, which is interesting. He built this team with the idea that this team is going to compete in the playoffs. It's nowhere in the world that I think that you go out and make a trade to bring in a guy like Derek Favors to play center, and you add all this phenomenal talent around him. You got Zion Williamson, Jackson Hayes, Nikhil Alexander, and all these credible players they have. You have Jahlil Okafor playing really well. Etuan Moore is playing splendidly. And then think, we just going to just be a team that just learns this year, and then if we finish outside the playoffs, it's still a win. No, I don't think they see it that way. Griff came in here with the team with the mindset to make the playoffs. Bottom line, a lot of experts had the Pelicans on outside looking in, said they weren't a playoff team, and that's their standpoint to say, well, they're a transitioning team, meaning they're going to learn how to win with Williamson. Now, let me tell you something. This is the curse of the superstar in New Orleans. Chris Paul, Anthony Davis, you're looking at Zion Williamson. Listen, they're on a clock right now, and it's been expedited by the fact that Anthony Davis signed with Clutch Sports, and the superstar of the team is on Clutch Sports. He gonna give him one contract. Think about this. That rookie contract, if the Pelicans are not viable and are not a perennial playoff team making the push to build and build, that's going to be major issue with Zion Williamson. He's not going to wait around here like Anthony Davis did and give you a second contract. That's not going to be the case. The agent that he has now, those guys play for big stakes, and they're about building super teams. So if you want to impress Zion Williamson, you're going to have to build a team around him that's going to compete, and that's what they did from the level one. This is not a transition team in terms of just being happy outside the playoffs. Now, with that said, you're looking at...
Wait, Big Q, I gotta point one thing out. I think you crossed with Alvin Kamara, my brother. Zion ain't signed to Clutch Sports.
Zion ain't on Clutch? Are you sure?
Nah, he's with CAA.
Okay, hold on.
He's with CAA, but I'm going to give you a pass. I know you do the sports coma. You did sports coma earlier. Alvin Kamara signed to Clutch Sports. I know you know that.
Yeah, I know that.
Zion is not signed to Clutch Sports.
Are you sure?
Plus, he loves being closer to his home.
That's right.
I don't think we lose him.
That's right.
I don't think we lose him like that. But we are on the clock, though.
Yeah, that's right.
Whatever Giannis does, if Giannis busts a move, then hey, Zion can leave too.
That's right.
If you see Giannis stay, I think Zion Williamson probably do the same thing. It's a changing of the guards with these stars, man, and building super teams, and these younger guys are looking at it a little different, man. Jay Morant too. I think he winds up being with Memphis for a long time. I don't think these guys got that pedigree like LeBron. It looks like that's kind of changing a little bit.
Yeah, they're saying that's true. That's absolutely right. They said pre-report that Williams considered Clutch Sports, and Rich Paul, of course, represents LeBron, but ultimately decided to go with CAA Sports Agency. Okay, I got you on. I appreciate that correction, brother. But with that being said, I still feel that you have to, with everything happened with Anthony Davis and Chris Paul, the curse of the superstar here in the Big East as far as basketball is concerned, we still have to win now. This is a win now mode. This ain't about waiting to the future and all that nonsense. This team have 3 first-round draft picks on it this year, including Zion Williamson. So, I mean, we want to compete now. As far as the draft is concerned, if I, taking a first-round draft pick, I would consider taking a big, a 4. A guy that could play the 4 and some 5 that can run the floor, because we could utilize and have a 6'10" or a 7-foot guy off the bench who could play the 4 or the 5 for you in the stretch that can run the floor. You could pair with Jackson Hayes, because I really do think that the Pelicans are going to re-up eventually with Derek Favors. I think Derek Favors has showed enough where they'll look at present him with a contract. I think Jackson Hayes could. In certain packages, you won't probably see those 2 guys together, but I would love to see a big in that position, an athletic big that has some who can switch between the 4 and 5, that has a jump shot, and they got some of those guys that can fill in that position. That size aspect off the bench is what I'm saying. Add more length to the team. But outside of that, to me, I think this team will get it together. I just think they will. The pressure is on, man. I mean, you can feel it. You can see how the players reacting. The world and the NBA world's eyes are fixated on the New Orleans Pelicans. I mean, more so than you would notice like with a team like the Lakers, which are used to that, or some of these other championships team like Golden State that's used to that, playing in that spotlight. Some of these guys aren't, and then you have some of the guys that came from the LA area prior to LeBron getting there, when people wasn't really respecting what the Lakers was doing. But this a level of star power and pressure can do one or 2 things. Either you ball, or you fall. And we're going to see that real soon.
Well, we got to put the people out there who are ready to ball, man, because we got some people on the bench, such as Nikolai Millie and the Lil Okafor. Give them a shot, man. See what they do. That's what I think Alvin Gentry should do. Give Walker some more minutes if somebody playing off. We got to see what these guys are going to do. And we don't need to run no damn full guards out there. But that's a good assessment, man, on the big. But you think the Pelicans are really gonna do that?
This is the thing. This is another thing.
They should do.
This is the thing. Is to keep it real about that, man. You look at what the team is doing. One of the biggest moves they can make now. To answer the question Unique V asks about, any trades, as far as the Pelicans concerned, that trade deadline.
Keep hearing Robert Covington, man.
I keep hearing that, but this is the thing. Griff came out and said that no trades right now. They're going to evaluate what the team looks like with Zion Williamson. But prior to that, the word was out that he was a player in the trade game. They want to add somebody that can help. Covington would be a good addition.
That'd be a great.
That'll
force Alvin Gentry out of that 4-guard set too.
Yeah, that will force him to play Robert Covington, who can shoot the three and cover 2 or 3 different positions defensively. Hustle player, very special player that they can get. I've heard Jeff Green. Jeff Green there as well. It's a number of different. And even though he's a free agent, they just released Jeff Green, by the way, so he brings size and shooting and whatnot. But this is the thing about the Pelicans as well, that I want to see how they win these games. A lot of people don't think they'll be able to beat Boston. It'll be interesting to see them because everybody's going to be watching that. But as the season goes on, remember those minutes are going to go up. His minutes are going to go up bit by bit, and the Pelicans are going to have to figure out a way to be able to win these games. And I remember the last 2 contests they could have won had they hit the free throws and had a few more rebounds here or there. They didn't have to be perfect. But if they would have hit some free throws, they would have beat these teams. So they wasn't totally out of it like they were the first time they matched up with Boston. That was a complete annihilation. So let's hope they have some courage, some respect for themselves, and some understanding in practice to hit these free throws and to play a little bit more disciplined moving ahead. Yeah, I know, Kevin. Jeff Green. That's somebody they threw out there. And he's one of those veteran players that you can throw in because
he's unsigned, right?
Hmm?
He's still unsigned, right?
He's still unsigned. So there's several players that the Pelicans looking at in the free agent market and the trade market that could help this team. That's what I'm saying. Why, if you're a team that's considering yourself a lottery team, then why the hell you consider making trades before the deadline? And they're not going to give up anything that's going to hurt the core of the team. They're going to try to add to it more of a veteran edge off the bench. Somebody that can come in and help solidify the bench. The bench rotation. That's all it is. But the thing is, why are you trying to solidify a bench rotation when you don't have a consistent bench rotation? You don't know who you're going to play from night to end. That's what I'm saying. This guy's playing 4 guards off the bench. That's foolhardy. We are guard heavy. It's
clear we got to get rid of a guard or 2.
But who do you get rid of?
I like all our guards too.
Who do you get rid of? Who do you? That's what I'm saying.
I say
first
you
thing
get
was,
rid of Etuan Moore.
I would have said that too, but look how he playing. I would not give up Etuan Moore right now. You give up Etuan Moore right now, that'll be a serious mistake. My first thing would say I would get rid of Etuan Moore. That's my first thing I would say back in the G.
I can't give up Walker. We just got him. Jackson. No. I guess with somebody, I hate to give him up.
Right. So
his contract is almost over. We don't know if we're gonna get him back. It's tough. It's tough decision.
That's what I'm saying. Etuan Walker is playing so well, it's difficult to consider releasing him. Or trading him. Now he does have $8 million a year, something like that. So but I don't know, man.
Last year too. His contract's
that's true too.
Is him or Frank Jackson?
Yeah.
Well, this the thing. Frank Jackson is balling too. Etuan Moore is interesting. But I don't know. You want to mess with the chemistry of the bench, even though but they have to consider that, man.
Zion has took a liking to Etuan Moore too. That's another reason I think he stays around, and they probably should keep him around. That's Zion's vet, so I'm pretty sure he wouldn't be too happy if they traded away Etuan Moore.
Go ahead, DJ.
Well, all right. So we know the starters. How about this bench lineup? You got Lonzo, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, maybe Kendrick Williams. No. I'm gonna change that. Lonzo, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Zion, Nico Melli, and Jackson Hayes. Would that be a legit bench on the court?
Okay, you said Frank.
What was the?
You said Frank Jackson. He's saying he's filling in the rotation off the bench for Gentry.
Yeah, so
Gentry clueless tail.
Yeah, you got Lonzo. You got Nickeil Alexander-Walker. You have Zion at the 3, Nico Miller at the 4, and Jackson Heath at the 5.
That could be a nice
That sounds like a real good
that is
for me. I can see it working because Melly going to hover around the 3-point line.
Yep.
Zion can still go in the paint.
Yep.
Hayes going to run the floor with Zion, creating a hell of a fast break. Lonzo Ball run with them. And you got Frank Jackson who does a little bit of everything. That's an excellent.
But you got Lonzo Ball at the point position, the distribution, the ally master there. Reddit. I mean, it's a number of great talented lineups, but
we got a lot of rotations.
That's what I'm saying. But he don't know how, and that's the thing that's messed up. This man gave him all this talent, and he don't know how to effectively utilize these lineups to the point where he, instead of using the talent, he wants 3-point shooting. He wants a 4-guard look. But the reality is he can still have a sort of 4-guard look with Nico Melli in there. Nico Melli can shoot the 3. And he's a hustle player.
Nico Melli is like he's more like a slow small forward to me.
But that he gives you the size that the others are lacking. And that's the thing that his
6'9".
Right, his opponents have to respect Nico Melli because he'll jay your eyes out. He's confident he'll shoot the 3. But that's the thing. They will lay off him and let him shoot that 3 to deal with the others. And I'm saying if you want the 3-point shooter, play Nico Melli like you played him in the game you won. Then the next 2 games you gave him 1 minute, and it's frustrating. And it's like the man don't know what he's doing. You don't know what he's doing. Kevin said the coach is stupid. I mean, he just over. And you know the reality is he has no answers to a lot of the things you answer. And I'm telling you, the pressure is about to crack him like an egg. And I've been telling
everybody who don't watch the Pelicans show, us here at the show, we know. But everybody who don't watch them, they always talk about what a brilliant coach Alvin Gentry is.
Man,
that's all I hear. From people who don't really watch them.
They got some people
that how brilliant he is.
They got
even
people
the YouTube podcasters and they say the same thing. Bro, they always talk about how good of a coach Alvin Gentry is.
They had Amin from ESPN. Amin, the dude with the look like he smoked weed. With the I call him with the Obama lips, the weed smoking lips. And Amin from ESPN, you know what I'm talking about. He got on there.
The dude who be on the jump.
The jump, you're right. He got on there and said Alvin Gentry is a great coach and all this kind of nonsense. And I said, man, these guys don't know they ass from a hole in the ground, man. Alvin Gentry is not a good head coach. Look at Alvin Gentry's record as a head coach. He is a losing head coach. Assistant, he's a good offensive assistant that work in a system like he was with Golden State. But when it comes down to being a head coach, he is not a good head coach. He can't consistently take a team, develop them, and keep them on course like some of the more consistent and successful coaches in the league that understand how to formulate lineups and work the lineups. His first philosophy is to go small, and run to the detriment of your defense. And I was kept yelling in this fool's face and on the show saying that what good is it of pressing and running your team up and down the court if you're running them and they don't know what they're doing? All they're going to do is turn the ball over faster, you moron. That's all they're going to do. If they don't know what they do, they're going to press and turn the ball over faster. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. Encouraging them to take irresponsible 3-point shots when nobody's underneath the basket to rebound. Nobody's looking at it. It's like, okay, you putting all the pressure on this guy to make this shot because if he misses it, he damn sure ain't gonna get the rebound, and then the other team's gonna march back and score, and that's how those great point swings occur. That's how those point swings occur. You take an irresponsible 3-point shot, the team gets the rebound, run up the court, get a layup. That's 2. Then you do the same thing. Next thing you know, you have a 7 to 8 point swing just that fast, and you got Gentry calling the timeout. I mean, this is what kind of nonsense we got to deal with. But until they wake up to the reality of why this team ain't gonna never be nothing, is with Alvin Gentry at the helm. You need a coach that understands defensive-minded principles. Now, every now and again, you'll see them start to play defensively because the influence of the assistant coaches who have more of a pedigree on the defensive side than he does. So he'll defer to them in those times of desperation. But when he feels that he alleviates just a little bit, it goes right back to the dumb stuff that Gentry usually does. I'm telling you, I know this team. We watch this team. I know how they play, and most importantly, I know this coach. He's the reason why this team is not as good as they're supposed to be. This team is better than a 17 and 29 mark. This is absolutely insane.
29.
Well, shit. The last time out in the Spurs game, I was done. Like whoever drew that last play up when the timeout was called, I was done. Like you guys drew shooting the last 3-pointer. Well, why you just didn't fucking put JJ or another shooter in to give him the ball? And I know we ain't had much time enough anyway, but whoever called that play, they need to get fired.
You right, man. Elvin Gentry has history of doing dumb stuff like that, bro. That's why you see players like when he was trying to take Zion out, he's calling a timeout. Lonzo Ball said, "The hell with that." He kept the play going. He does a lot of idiotic stuff like that, man. Time management, putting the right players in the right situations. Just fundamental basketball things, to me, have always been his downfall. But I know we beating him upside the head. But the one thing I do like about him, he is innovative when it comes to offense. But I think so many times he gets wrapped up in that and he doesn't think how his little schemes and what he wants to do affects the rest of the game. You want to have the best players out there, true, and we have some talented guards, but you also want to put your team in the best position to win. And I just don't think that's an art that Alvin Gentry has mastered. And he's like 63 years old, so I don't think he's ever going to master it. So we got what we got right now, y'all. Unless the Pelicans faithful, you guys start calling for his head and hold him accountable.
It's coming.
I don't see him going nowhere.
It's coming. I'm telling you, because the pressures is there is really starting to mount now. Of course,
the media got to turn on him, Big Q.
No, the media gonna turn on him when the fans do, and the media not gonna stand and protect him. You know how shiftless they are. They're not gonna stand on his side and protect Elvin Gentry. They're right now they're standing with him because they know that nobody's really truly, there's not a big enough outcry to demand his head yet. But let the Pelicans keep mounting up losses, and then you can't blame injury. You can't blame anything else because everything's starting to get checked. Zion Williamson is back, and the Pelicans on a 3-game losing streak. Then it's 4, then it's 5, and eventually it keeps mounting and mounting. This is a playoff team. If this team doesn't get to the playoffs, he needs to be fired. And, of course, they did the stupidest thing you could possibly do as an organization, is they extended a losing coach at the end of the season. You got a losing record, you get a 2-year extension. Absolutely foolish.
I didn't understand
that was stupid.
Man. We clean house on everything.
Because Gail Benson likes Elvin Gentry. In her words, he's a nice man. In my comment to Gail Benson, and you know we love Gail Benson here, and I said to her, Miss Benson, if you like Elvin Gentry, that's fine. But if you like him so much, take his ass, give him some tickets and some merchandise, and put him out front the arena and let him hand it out for free. Let him hand out tickets for free, but don't put him in control of your team. He's an older coach. This is a young team. You need somebody that can match that energy, that can teach them youngsters, and Elvin Gentry is a mismatch for that. He's been a mismatch in New Orleans. And that's partially the reason why Anthony Davis is not here. He didn't believe in Elvin Gentry, what Elvin Gentry was doing. Elvin Gentry, his mismatch, ridiculous, foolish, garbage, dumbass way of distributing minutes was the reason why DeMarcus Cousins got hurt. Because he was running an 8-man rotation and overplaying DeMarcus Cousins on minutes that ultimately led to that situation occurring. Anthony Davis, when DeMarcus Cousins left and AD was here, he didn't approach Anthony Davis and ask him to play center. Anthony Davis found out, according to the press conference, when they brought in Julius Randle to be the power forward, Anthony Davis said that, I guess I'm playing center. So really, he said that on the press conference. I was like, did y'all hear it? We did so many shows. I said that on the show. I said, that's how he figured it out. He figured it out by way of the press conference when they brought in Julius Randle. He said, I guess I'm playing center. So you mean to tell me you didn't have that that a conversation, Gentry, with the superstar of the team. And remember, family, if you flash back, DC, you remember when we had Pelican insider Jared Kushner on the show. You remember that show? It was about 30 or 40 minutes with Jared Kushner. If y'all want to remember that, go back and look it up. We had the insider from the Advocate on the show, and we was talking to him, and Kushner was saying, Anthony Davis doesn't mind playing center. I said, listen, he doesn't mind playing center in a pinch, but he does not want to start at the position the entire year. It's the same stuff he told the Lakers, that he's not a center. That's the same stuff he told the Pelicans. They played him at center the whole year. Ultimately, he got the hell out of there. I told him when the season started, I said, you're going to run him off. And that's exactly, he lost faith in the system. And his lost faith in the system is Elvin Gentry. He didn't believe in him that he could have took this team to the next level. And he knew that when DeMarcus Cousins got hurt and they didn't offer him that extension, they knew that the team was severely less than what they were prior to that. Now, if the reality is, had they re-signed DeMarcus Cousins, Anthony Davis probably would have stayed with his partner. That's true.
I think Rajon Rondo as well, man.
They would have all stayed. That's right. Rondo, Cousins, and AD would have stayed. But it just shows you how fast things change in this league, man. I'll tell you what. But Gentry has been the main sore, the cold sore, whatever you want to call it, on the lip of the Pelicans for years now, and no amount of ointment or whatever.
Are you calling Gentry herpes?
I ain't call him, you did. But I'm saying he's been a cold sore on the lip of the city and of the Pelicans for years now, and it's time to either get rid of it or you're going to have to cut your damn lip off. One way or the other, we got to get rid of this herpes called Elvin Gentry. DC said it first, so I guess I'm regurgitating. But it's what it is, man. That's what we dealing with. It's a comedy show, man. I tell you what, man. But we're going to see what happens against Boston, because if they can beat the Boston Celtics and get some revenge here, that could solidify the team. And remember, if we want some hope, let's give out some hope for people to say, okay, Q, give me some hope to believe in the Pelicans. This is the hope. Despite how bad the Pelicans look, despite how many turnovers they've turned over the ball in the last several contests, the Pelicans have ultimately lost these games by 4, 5, or 6 points or fewer than that. They have not been blown out in these games. They've been competitive with these teams, despite their awful play, their inconsistency, turning the ball over, allowing wide open jump shots, wide open layups, not battling in the post for offensive rebounds, all that kind of stuff. They still lost these games by 3, 4, 5, 6 points, which they could have won had they have hit in free throws. So what I'm saying is a little tweak here, a little tweak there. You got the addition of Zion, and eventually it's going to catch fire. And when it do, I just want to see them build a winning streak, because that's what they need right now. If they can build a winning streak and mount forward, this team could be fine. I'm telling you. That's all. It's a little spark. And we got that spark. Zion Williams is that spark. The fans are now showing up the arena. The support is there. That makes everybody elevate their game. We have to have a galvanizing performance against a top-notch foe. Boston Celtics, y'all are on warning. I'm putting y'all on warning right now that the Pelicans, man, you could be the spark that light the fire.
That was my last question, and both y'all can end on this. I know the Celtics are doing their homework, and I know they're looking for Zion to drive. They got to play at least the first half. That first half against the Celtics, like they finished somewhat during the Spurs in that fourth quarter. Zion, he got to shoot. Not unless he got an open lane to drive, or not unless he doing the alley-oop, or getting into that paint to get off on the rebound and putting the bitch back up, he got to shoot because they're looking for him to drive. That's like LeBron, not to jump on Lakers. I mean, you're looking for LeBron to drive and slam or one of these small, like Jason Tatum, to drive. So you're gonna make him shoot, right? Or that bad coaching for me?
I think if you saying in terms of how you're saying how did they defend Zion Williamson? Is that what you make mention of, DJ? Would you force him to take the jump shot or make? They're gonna try to force Zion to take a jump shot. They don't want him nowhere near that basket. I mean, they're gonna try to turn him into the jump shooter. The cold part about it is that they don't realize, but they'll realize it soon. Is when he couldn't move like he wanted to. The only thing he could do is shoot the ball, and he worked on his 3-point shot as evidence in the first game when he came back. His percentage is the highest. His field goal percentage is the highest that has ever been for any player at any time in NBA history. I read that recently on one of these sports sites.
Yeah.
So
he's like 85% right now.
It's
man.
absolute.
There's 2 games in, multiple shots.
Right, that's insane. But this is the thing as well, is that he worked on that 3-point game and that long range game. That people said he didn't have. And that is so astronomical because he, in that regard, he surpassed guys like Ben Simmons who have to attack the paint, who I think he just hit his first 3-pointer this year or last year. Ben Simmons, I have to check that out.
I think it was this year.
Yeah, that his first 3-point shot, and Ben Simmons been in the league for a couple of years now. He just hit one. So it's
the running meme. I'd have heard this 1,000 times since that Spurs game. Is Zion has more 3-pointers than Ben Simmons has in his whole career already.
That's to say, and how great Simmons is. But he's improved his game because that was the thing is. They say that he's a dunk machine and he has to get his points near the basket. He's showing you that's not the case. He's worked on that aspect of his game. So whatever Zion Williamson they thought they was going to get, this is a different player. And when he gets totally healthy.
Anybody who watch him know that.
Right, but that's the thing. It's like, what's the best way to defend him? They don't want him nowhere not around the paint. They're going to try to turn him into a jump shooter. Which works well for us.
Set-up shooter. He can hit the setup 3
I mean, he's not a power forward. He can play the.
I didn't know he had that in his bag, man. It was only from like a little bit inside the free throw line, but man, he pulled a fadeaway jumper. That's the first time I've seen him do that. It wasn't off the dribble though. I never seen him take any shots off the dribble. He was like it did a little post move and he hit him with a fadeaway. Man, it was pretty too. So man, if he can get a jump shot though to go with that spot up. Shit, they can let him shoot all day. I think he's gonna knock him down, man. He got a nice little stroke. His wrist action and all that look good. His form not that bad. It look a little awkward. Not that bad. He shoots kind of straight. Get a little bit more arc on it. He'd be good, man. I think he hits wide open shots, though. I don't think they're just gonna be able to leave him over, man. The league in for a problem.
Well, y'all go ahead. DC, bro, we got to link up and go to a game, bro. What you think?
No doubt, man. I got to see what the schedule permits, but I definitely be into hollering at you there, bro.
All right, my man. Y'all be safe. Won't bow down, and let's hope for the best.
All right, DJ. Appreciate the call, fam. Be good. Peace. That's this DJ, man. Appreciate the call, DJ. Diehard Pelican, man. And it's exciting. I tell you what, they're losing, but they're one of the most exciting losing teams in the NBA because it's fun watching the Pelicans play. It's just getting those little annoying things. These little quirks and things that they were doing at the start of the season. These are the things that you're not supposed to be doing right now. You're supposed to, a good team would have eliminated some of these issues from the team as you're approaching, getting closer and closer to the midway section of the season when the All-Star break and all that comes in. So, I mean, you would know you have an idea at this point of what type of team you have. And the coaching staff should be able to have ironed out a lot of the wrinkles and facing down the playoffs at this point and winning game by game and looking to kind of build a streak because they can get a good 10-game winning streak here. That'll kind of put them where they need to be. So the focus should be on taking a one game at a one game approach moving forward into the season. That should be the mindset when you facing down some of these adverse situations. Well, the team is healthy for the most part. They have all the key pieces back. there is no excuses from this point forward. The Pelicans need to put it together.
I agree, man. Ain't no more excuses left. I don't know what Alvin Gentry gonna cling to. He gonna blame it on the medical staff, because that's about the last one they got hinging on, bro. We ain't got no more people hurt. We ain't injured. Got Zion back. We should be winning. I mean, that's the theory, at least. Everybody been giving us a pass all year. They're talking about this, talking about that. Brandon Ingram's playing great and all of this stuff. Lonzo Ball's picked it up. Well, why aren't we winning games? So we know the common denominator. So it's just up to the rest of the league, I guess, to see, and everybody else watching to see, because all eyes on them right now. So Alvin Gentry better do some of the best coaching he ever did in his life. Oh, I say, if they completely just fall through the floor, he won't finish the season, bro. I mean, this team has got to go on at least an 8-9 game win streak. Anything less is just ridiculous. We're too talented. We got too much of the momentum. The whole league wants us to win. The referees are calling fouls for us now.
You getting the calls, brother, but we about to end the show. But I appreciate you. All right. But thank y'all for joining us on the Pelican Postgame Report from me and DC. Peace.
Are you a Pelicans fan? Check out the Pelican Postgame Report on the PRO Media Network.
The Kleins family has been getting people to go nuts for old nuts since 1995. As legends have it, a number of the Kleins friends who heard the idea said you can go nuts trying to name a store like that. In the excitement, the Kleins thought their friends said old nuts instead of go nuts and proceeded to throw caution to the wind. Old Nuts has over 2,000 items, bulk and wholesale prices of a whole lot of your favorite fruits, nuts, and confections, a selection of gift baskets for any budget, any occasion, and provides one of the best and impressively rated shopping experiences on the web. Fact is, between their selection, service, speed, or their online presence in the virtual mirror retail experience, they have developed an enviable client base that's comprised of personal and professional customers who count on their remarkable range of gift baskets. Think of gift basket, think about Old Nuts. Check them out, oldnuts.com. Check the link in the description section below. Tea is your escape. It's your opportunity to create a moment for stillness, for reflection, for yourself. It's your connection to a world of senses, flavors both exotic and familiar, energizing and relaxing. It's your retreat from an increasingly turbulent world. It's the perfect paradox of simplicity and complexity. Teabox.com connects tea to people, uniting the richest flavors of the finest teas with the curious, the cultivated, and the adventurous all over the world. The freshest tea you've ever tasted, from crop to cup. There's simply no simpler way to experience the wonderful complexity of tea. Teabox, packing up the freshness. Tea thrives on freshness, and so do they. Teabox temperature and humidity control facility ensure that tea is maintained. The teas themselves go into oblique bags with aluminum layers that protect them from excess moisture and light. With Teabox, shopping for fresh, loose leaf tea is easy because you make an informed purchase. You know exactly where your tea is coming from. So for the freshest teas in the world, check out Teabox.com. That's right, Teabox.com. Check the link in the description section below.
Are you a boxing fan? Check out Ring Kings Boxing only on the PRO Media Network.
Go to newfrog.com for all of your electronic gadget needs. Fast becoming #1 online seller of cell phone and accessories, consumer electronics, automobiles and motorcycles, home and garden items, 5D diamond painting crafts, electrical and tool supplies, computer and networking supplies, lights and lighting supplies, sports and travel items, toys and hobby supplies, apparel and accessory, mother and kid items, health and beauty items, and much, much more. Newfrog.com has up to 70% off on some products. And you can check out their weekly promotions for all the best deals. Remember, when thinking online electronics and gadgets, think New Frog. Newfrog.com. Check the link in the description section below.
In today's world, children are bombarded with negativity on television, online, and at school. Our kids need to have a positive outlook on life and the world around them. I want to share with you a valuable resource you can use to bring positivity into your child's life. It's the new book, 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image, from author and dad, G.J. Barabino. This is a simple guide loaded with wonderful and inspirational affirmations designed to uplift young people's spirits. This positive and powerful children affirmational is chock full and loaded with wonderful inspirational sayings that will lift your child's self-image to whole new levels through the awesome power of spoken word. 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image from author and dad G.J. Barabino. Available on Amazon. Order a copy for yourself, your child's teachers, or anyone you know with children. 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image. Order your copy today.
What's up, Sports World? The PRO Media Network is on a mission to reach 10,000 subscribers. So besides our regular programs like the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, the Pelican Post Game Report, Rapid Fire TSC, and others, we will be expanding out and offering other content like movie, anime, and gaming reviews for your entertainment. So if you enjoy our content, please donate at our Patreon page. Also subscribe, comment, and share. And help the PRO Media Network reach 10,000 subs. Peace.